Hey folks with nothing better to do, it's Blogzilla here. Today we have a special episode of the No Judgment Zone. We're leaving this magical, fun-filled desk and we're going to go and interview Nate Parker from the new movie Beyond the Lights. It's going to be an amazing interview. We're going to talk about some great stuff and let's go.
It's in the moments when you're left all on your own.
That night on the balcony, you were screaming, "I see you." So, just what do you see?
How much fun was it working on a project as great as this?
Oh man, first thanks, man. I appreciate it. When you get that reaction from someone, it's always a positive thing.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. It was fun because, for one, I trusted my director, and for two, my co-star was, next level talent, next level beauty, everything you want. Someone that you're spending every day, all day with. So it was a lot of fun because the elements were so pure, and so well thought out.
Now, Gina was saying that she gave you the script. When she had Google, she gave you the script and you guys were helping working it out.
Yeah.
What was that like, working on something or just being a part of it, not knowing if you're just going to have the role?
Well, I always tell Gina, whatever you need from me, you got it. And you don't have to offer me a role. You need my help, just call me. And she called me up and she said, "I'm trying to push this thing. Will you come in and read with this girl? I want to put her through some things. I want to do something, and we're doing this for a studio, and I want them to see." I said, "Sure, where do you want me to be?" She sent me the stuff. I got prepared, and I showed up, did my thing, and literally walked out and was like, "All right, Gina, you need anything else?" So while I knew it was incredible, I wanted it to be what it needed to be for Gina. The biggest misconception in Hollywood, I believe, is that you can miss roles or you can almost get something. I believe if something's for you, it's for you, and it's going to happen. And if it's not, then it won't. My mom would always tell me when I first became an actor, and it was the beginning, it was hard. She said, if something's for you, there's not a demon in hell can take it away. But if it ain't for you, there's not all the research in the world won't bring it to you. All the work in the world in preparation. If it's not yours, it's not yours. So to answer the question, I wasn't so concerned with if the character was mine or not. I just wanted Gina to make the best film. If that meant with someone else, then I would support her in that way.
You're a great guy. You pretty much said the same thing about Spike.
Mm-hmm.
If Spike needs you for something, you're there.
Yeah.
Who instilled these values into you? Like, is it an actor, as parents? Because you have these qualities of a great person. I really appreciate that.
Man, you know what? Well, thank you, but I live with imperfection every day. I'm not a perfect person, but I do believe in justice. I do believe in having a moral compass and at least striving to walk up a path, the unbeaten path, toward a legacy and a destiny that your children's children will be proud of. But I just try to, keep it in everything I do. I'm very particular about the projects I take, because I feel like once you shoot the film, it's immortalized. You can't take it away. You can't undo projects. They say you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So that's why out of the gate I said I want my coming out to be something that people will associate with me for the rest of my life.
And that's why you're leaving these movies and these characters as your legacy in a way, right?
Yeah, because I feel like, honest to God, I feel like social work can't be once a month at the Boys and Girls Club. You can't say, I want to affect change in my community, so I'm going to go to Boys and Girls Club the second Sunday of every month. It has to be ingrained in who you are as a person. Whatever your platform is, you're a journalist. You know what I mean? So you have to make sure that as a journalist, that with every question you ask, with every interview you have, there's something motivating it that will affect the change, that you want to happen in the community. It has to be. It has to be a day-by-day thing. But it takes us a sacrifice. The problem is people don't want to give up privilege. Which is why when Ferguson happens, a lot of people are silent. A lot of people.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is if you have a son or a daughter, I don't care what color you are. You know what I mean? The fact that you are not vocal about this, or at least in having discourse, is destructive. Dante said, the hottest places in hell are reserved for those who remain neutral in times of war and conflict. You know what I mean? I can't remain neutral. I can't. So don't put the mic in my face. It's that kind of thing. Or don't, or take away this platform of film, because I will continuously make these types of films.
Why is it that when someone says something, it's their opinion, and there's so much outrage, Do any of your friends get nervous or scared to speak up?
All of them, it's not all, but so many.
Yeah.
Because it's privilege. When you've spent your life trying to climb a social ladder, especially when you really start from the bottom, like people of African descent, have not been afforded nepotism in the same way as the majority. I didn't inherit anything, but debt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of we don't. So when we finally make a step or make a gain, it's like, oh, if I say the wrong thing, if I do the wrong thing, this can be taken away from me. We're just not an empowered people yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
so much of who we are is in the hands of people that don't look like us. You know what I mean? So much of who we are is based on making the majority happy, comfortable. Well, you make a false step. Everything you've worked for can be taken away.
That brings me to here. Noni says something that's so amazing. I wrote it down yesterday. She says, I feel like I'm suffocating in the middle of the street and no one can see me dying.
Mm-hmm.
That goes to say the same as us as a people.
Mm-hmm. That's
Where
right.
There's so many successes,
Mm-hmm.
but we're being choked out, like to where we think we can only be a certain thing.
Ralph Ellison, you know what I mean? That's like invisible indifference. It affects people. When you don't feel like you're seen. I did a movie. I was in Red Hook Projects, hanging with the Bloods for research and seeing, I realized we're the least safe in our own neighborhoods because we indict each other. We've been conditioned to hate our reflection. You get what I'm saying? That's why I film like this, to me, is so important. It deals with love. It deals with identity. You can't love anyone if you don't love yourself. You can't love yourself if you don't know who you are.
I love also about the character Cass. He held her to a higher standard than she even held herself.
Right.
A lot of women stoop down to pick up celebrities and do a lot of stuff, which to each their own. But do you have to hold these women up? So what message would you give to guys to say, hey, brothers, it's on us too to demand more from our women?
Yeah, well, demand more, yes, but support more and fix ourselves. Like we were just talking about before, how the current state of music. A lot of the music is it perpetuates misogyny, narcissism, and those are things that if they're at the root of who you are, it becomes impossible to have a healthy relationship. I don't think that we can support a woman if our ideals are entrenched in such negativity. I think we really need to look in the mirror and check ourselves. I mean, a lot of music I don't listen to. You know what I mean? I just don't. And then call me a lame, call me old man, or out of touch or whatever. But I studied computers in college. And one thing one of my professors always said is, a computer will never do anything you don't program it to do. A program will never do anything that you didn't program it to do. So if it's a bug, you did it. If it works, you did it. If it doesn't work, it's all on you. You know what I mean? So I think the same thing goes true in what we perpetuate in our lives. You know what I mean? If I'm putting something out, if I'm programming the world with something negative, then negative is going to come from that. The bigger my platform, the bigger the cloud of negativity.
So let's go. You talked about platform. Your platform, bro, is about to explode. I think if this does what I think is going to do what it's capable of doing, the platform is going to explode, bro. You ready for that?
You know what, man? I think so. It's one step at a time, one job at a time, one prayer at a time. I'll never try to be anything more than what I am. You know what I mean? I'll continuously try to prove upon myself, but I won't change. I have too many people in my circle that love me enough to check me if I get out of pocket. So if good things come, good things have already come. You know what I mean? I believe in this film because I believe in the messages. I believe in the pursuit of identity, finding your own voice. I believe in the language of love and that it knocks down all barriers.
That's why I think it's going to win. That's why I know it's going to win. And it's going to put a lot more eyes on you for your next project.
Right.
Can we talk about that?
Sure. I'm going to do a formal announcement in the coming weeks, but my next project is called The Birth of a Nation, and it's the biopic of Nat Turner, who led the most successful slave revolt in American history.
Awesome.
He was a preacher turned revolutionary. And it's funny because one of the opening scenes, he steals a book. It's true, true story. But he stole a book. He risked his life as a child. It's like the importance of education. We need to take back our identity on so many levels. So I'm really excited to tell that story because I feel like revolution is in the air, and I feel like it's time with everything happening. We need to be reminded of our duty and responsibility to stand.
Yeah. Do you feel a sort of responsibility, because there's a lot of power in those stories, these stories.
Sure.
There's a lot of power in the platform that you have. Do you feel an extra sort of responsibility for that?
Absolutely, every day of my life.
Yeah.
Every day of my life, I feel responsible. You know, if it's true, Frederick Douglass said, there's no progress without struggle, then it's my job to pursue that progress if I can identify a struggle. And there are a lot of things to struggle against. Maybe one day in my lifetime, I'll look around and everything will be the way it needs to be. You know, everything will seem right, and I can rest from the standpoint of being an activist. I don't see that happening anytime soon. So until I get to that place, I will feel the responsibility to resist anything that I can consider and identify as injustice.
You told me you're doing a documentary about Ferguson.
Yeah.
When can we expect to see that? How is that coming along?
Those take time. It won't be till next year, but we're working on it. I'm actually about to film a PSA based on the Ferguson thing. It deals with police brutality, but it's basically what I really wanted to do is inspire empathy across the country. I was more upset at the idea that so few people were empathetic to what happened to Mike Brown. You know, so many people just were so cold to the situation. And the reality is that, you know, that could be anyone's son. You know, all lives matter. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a God in heaven, you know what I mean? Every life matters. Every life is specific. Every life was designed for a specific reason. And for us to just have no empathy to the situation, it's frightening. So this PSA that I'm directing, the 27-28 that I'll release in October, before I go shoot the other thing. It's just a short, it's like a 7-minute thing, but it's coming along very well. But it basically just deals with a cop who is, you know, loves his family at home, but when he goes into, you know these inner city and urban communities, he changes.
It's really
That's
close
what I did.
to the Shmoney dance, which is New York's biggest dance.
Oh.
Ever heard of the Shmoney dance?
I don't know what it is.
Can you? It's like you just do.
Research. It was a lot of collaboration with the hair people and